Hello and welcome back to Ops with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and today we are going to go over Agir. Thank you all of you who have posted in the poll that I posted recently. That will be my video from next weekend. I believe currently Psalm is in the lead. Psalm or any other British destroyer. I do have a Psalm video ready, but if anybody else wants to comment and suggest a different destroyer, I do have a daring and whatnot. Anyways, but today we are doing Agir. This was another one requested, and the video I have for it is Raptor Rescue, which I noticed I haven't actually posted a video of Raptor Rescue since the ops are reworked, except for the one where I was playing Sekiryu, and I then had my carrier playstyle tweaked and recommended, and well, I was told how to play carriers by Ashkans, which is really nice. Like, he spent an hour on just talking on that video of going and breaking down, and I learned quite a bit from him. Just on how to play carriers in ops. So that's the difference between like someone who knows ops and someone who knows how to play ships well. He really knows how to play well. Anyways, so enough about that. We will go into Agir herself. Agir, she is a large cruiser, quote unquote large cruiser, a super cruiser, battle cruiser, however you want to call her. She actually has bigger guns than the real life Scharnhorst, who the British wanted to call a battleship because it was so armored. She actually has similar armor to Scharnhorst. Let me go. Let's do German premiums, tier 9 and tier 7. So we have Agir, and we have Scharnhorst 43. So Scharnhorst 43, you have 26 millimeters bow and a 70 millimeter belt, 350 millimeter belt, and then 45 casemate and 50 millimeter deck. Agir, it's a 27 millimeter. So the difference is that actually that's Scharnhorst 43 or is it normal Scharnhorst? Yeah, Scharnhorst normal Scharnhorst also 26. So 27 millimeter, meaning it will bounce 380, whereas 26 in the 26 millimeter 380 will overmatch. So you have a little bit of upgrade there. You have a 90 millimeter casemate instead of the 45. The armor belt is lower at 190. The deck is 30 millimeters, so a little bit less there. So slightly different armor scheme, but weapon rise between the Scharnhorst with 380s, 283s. You have 283s, and then Agir you have 380s. So it's basically an upgrade. You have a similar or faster reload for these. It also takes a cruiser slot. So the bigger things are you can't use battleship survivability skills. That is actually the hardest part about this ship, is you can't use battleship survivability skills. What else? Oh yeah, you have improved dispersion. So you don't have battleship dispersion, you have battle cruiser dispersion, which is somewhere between battleship and cruiser. The artillery are, as I said, 305s. We have a 17.6 second reload due to our equipment. Secondary battery is actually the same as Gneisenau. Okay, it's less number, but it's the same 128s, 3.1 second reload. So a lot of people, oh look, it's my daily. I'll take that. Thank you. That interruption. Back to the secondaries. A lot of people want to do secondaries because it base 332 millimeter penetration. You want to do secondaries, but they don't actually have the accuracy. So rather you use the main guns for Agir. Schroeder has improved accuracy and more secondary. So Schroeder you use secondary guns, but for Agir you actually want to go with the main gun build with her. Unlike Schroeder, however, she gets 6 kilometer torpedoes. So if something gets too close, you can torpedo them as long as your torpedo tubes have survived. That's a big if. If your torpedo tubes have survived. Usually they don't, so it's better to just sit back. And that's why Schroeder's nice. You don't have to worry about torpedo tubes being destroyed because you don't have any. Onto the equipment. The equipment, we have main battery mod 1. We have second, and we have damage control to reduce risk of taking fire because she gets lit on fire like a tinderbox. Engine protection, she doesn't really lose her engine or steering gear that much, so no need to worry about that. Main battery, we have that for the main guns because we're doing a main gun build. I tried out the secondary mode because, you know, might as well try and get a little bit of both. So I'm actually running a mix here. So we're doing main guns for the main guns. And honestly, dispersion, it's only minus 7% dispersion. And for battlecruiser, that's not that much. So we're just getting more guns and more ammunition on the target. So it's either secondary battery or aiming mods, depending on if you want to do fully main gun or if you want to do a mix. We're doing mix here. We have damage control system mod 2 because the fires are 60-second fires and we want to reduce the fire time as much as possible. We have concealment mod for the dispersion. I can see ship consumables also being a thing, but I mean your concealment's already pretty bad and I don't think we're taking concealment expert as a skill, so that's why we're doing concealment mod 1. You get consumables that's plus 10% to your heal and plus 10% to your hydro and 10% to your DCP. 10% of 5 seconds gets you half a second. That's why that doesn't matter. But 10% of 28 seconds, that's another 2.8, so that gets you just over 30 seconds of and 3 6 that gets you an extra it's 800, so not too big of a deal. So that's why concealment for the extra dispersion against us. You don't do torpedo lookout because its assured acquisition is 1.8. Your hydro spots them at 4 kilometers. There's no reason to pick that up. And then main battery. So the things are main battery for the extra reload, so that's minus 12% to the reload. The other thing would be for the secondary batteries to get the minus to the secondaries, and you get extra AA, but you're missing out on the explosive damage because you don't have defensive fires. And main battery just ends up doing more damage, so that's why we're doing main battery. On to the skills. So these are currently the skills I have. Are a last stand, because if perchance your steering gets knocked out, you want to be able to steer. But if you are confident that that won't be knocked out, you can go for grease the gears instead. Priority target, because we want to know how many ships are looking at us. Then we have superintendent, so that we have an extra heal. We have adrenaline rush for more damage. We have pack a punch, so that when we use our torpedoes, they kill something. And it increases our secondary range. So this gets us a little bit on secondary. And we have is it not popping up? There we go. Top grade gunner, and this increases our reload by 8% and our secondary battery reload. So this is nice because both your main guns and your secondary are decent on the Agir. So this is a skill that is highly recommended for every single cruiser. Okay, almost every single cruiser. Maybe not your maybe not Cleveland and that, but most every single cruiser should get top grade gunner because of the main battery load. But we can actually use the secondary guns, and so our secondary battery, as you see, it has a maximum range of 12 kilometers with our specking a little bit into secondary. After that, what would I get for the next? 5 points. You can either go radiolocation and grease the gears, or you can go heavy armor piercing, and then what would I get? Grease the gears and gun feeder. So, I mean, heavy armor piercing is plus 5% to your damage, so it's a slight AP boost. But honestly, I'd probably do radiolocation next, and after that, grease the gears. And so this is why you can swap grease and gears in the last stand, and you can choose whichever one. Gun feeder, the HE actually, the armor piercing and the HE exchange rate, the high explosive still does decent amount of damage to destroyers, so it's useful to do that. And with 27% base chance of setting fires, then you add these 2 flags, and it becomes 29%, so nearly 30% chance of setting fires with these shells. It's a good fire setter, but they don't shoot as often, and the HE is so anemic that you generally don't use those. Outside of, I guess, random and ranks and clan battles and whatnot, competitive modes is when you'd use the HE more. But for the most part, you're going to be using armor piercing in ops, so that's why I don't really bother with it. That said, we'll go ahead and hop into battle. So here we are. As you can see, we are not in a division. There's FDG, Jean Bart, Bismarck, Zaitin, Takahashi, Agir, and Orange. Orange. No, it's orange. It's orange 1. So, Raptor Rescue obviously starts out the same. It's going to be 3 ships on our right side. After that, we don't know if it's going to be left or right. So, this is why I would want the radio location, because it's nice. Now, we are detected because we have 13.2 kilometer detection. And there's the Haragumbo. And we're going to shoot at it and put our secondaries, because we have 12 kilometers of secondaries. And our secondaries aren't hitting. There's one hit. We got one. But yeah, this is because you can't get the the fire prevention and reducing the reload on your damage control party, and the increased accuracy for secondaries on this. That is why Agir is not really a secondary ship anymore. She's a main gun. Oh, we'll take 3 Citadels into Azuma. So we DCP'd the fire because we didn't want Azuma to use armor piercing against our broadside. Now, what we're doing is we're turning in. So we are putting our bow against the Heathen. Yes, it can overmatch our bow. So we are trying to make sure that we are at least angled when we are bowing, so that it'll hit more of our belt. And this will also let our secondaries shoot. And so we're using our left side secondaries because more of them can shoot when we are angled due to the direction it's facing. And as you see, we only took a little bit of damage. Okay, we took 13k, but it could have been worse. If we weren't bowing, it would have been a lot worse. So now we are waiting. We are waiting to see if we're detected. Are we detected? Let's shoot and find out. So that's another way, as I've mentioned many times before, you can shoot your main guns if you have the range to be able to be detected. And if you're not detected, then you know it's going to be south. So I am clicking on the map, pointing that it's south because I was not detected. Lo and behold, there's Yoshino. Yoshino named Goro. So we are going to we'll keep our armor piercing. Haku is spawned south. So whichever way the ships spawn on the first wave, it you don't know. It's going to be north or south, either way. It doesn't have any effect on the rest of the map. And so when I say on the wiki that there are unique spawn variations, having a north spawn and then all the spawns that come after it is a different spawn setup than having a south spawn and then having the exact same spawns afterwards, because the north and south were different. And so that is why it seems like there's a lot of spawn variations, because basically there's just having the north spawn and the south spawn for these cruisers doubles the number of unique spawn positions and spawn locations. So if you ever wondered why I phrase it like that, this is why. And can we shoot the Clausewitz? Come on, Klausy. Or the Zuma. We should do Zuma. He's closer. Less dispersion. Now, if I was in Siegfried, I would shoot the Azuma over Clausewitz, because the Siegfried can overmatch Azuma. Azuma has a 25mm bow, and Siegfried has 28mm guns, so Siegfried can overmatch Azuma's bow. But Agir with 305s cannot, and so that's why we swapped to the high explosive, so that we can set a fire like that. And since it's cruisers, it only takes 5 seconds. We'll shoot the mountain instead, because we can't shoot the ship. This Jean Bart here. We're going to somewhat feature Jean Bart. I do have Jean Bart on my other account. My press account that I was gifted. But Jean Bart is wrecking it. And so after this battle, I started playing Bourgogne, because Jean Bart plus an extra turret, why not? And I was having so much fun in Bourgogne. And so that's why in last week's video I recommended Bourgogne and Mecklenburg, because those are both so fun. They do a lot of damage and they are just fun to use. But like Agir, it's an okay ship. I'll say it is. Schroeder is probably more fun. More people probably like Schroeder, but Agir's not that bad. At least Agir you can get with coal. Schroeder, you have to. Oh wait, you can't. You have to cry because you can't get her. So the other reason why we use high explosive over armor piercing on destroyers is to get those incapacitations. We want to incapacitate their torpedo tubes. We want to incapacitate their torpedo tubes. And this is why I don't have a day job scene. So no more incapacitations of torpedo tubes. I have the Hydra running because I want to know if torpedoes are coming our way. There we go. Torpedo tubes incapacitated again. Now, to make sure that Yugimo doesn't shoot us. And by seeing that there's a battleship. So, no, I'm going this way because there's a Satsuma and an Izumo shooting at me. And I don't like them shooting at me. Like, that hurts a lot. So we are trying to make sure to put an island in between us and them. At the same time, have firing arcs on the carrier, Hakuryu. Luckily, there's a Z-tin in between us and them, so we're not focused on by planes. But yeah, no, we're going here because as tanky as... Really? Another fire? Really? Really? Anyways, as tanky as Agir is, she's not tanky enough because you don't have the skill to reduce fire duration, the skill to reduce fire chance, the skill to reduce fires to 3 instead of 4. Sounds like there's an obvious weakness here. It might start with an F and end with Agir. And so because of that, we are kind of sitting back and trying to get in a position where we can move up later. And so let the Azuma come up. And whereas Jean Bart, on the other hand, is going the good route and getting the broadsides, the very juicy broadsides of the cruisers. And so if we had not gone this way and we had facing the destroyers and we had gone south to get those broadsides, we probably actually would have been doing better. And we use HE, swapping to armor piercing. And do our secondaries get the kill? No, Zaited secondaries get the kill. And there goes Yoshino. And so, since Yoshino is down and I see Jean Bart, this is where I'm debating. Do I go forward or do I stay back and shoot the Haku? I think I was planning on going back and shooting the Haku since the Zaitin was chasing him around the island rather than moving to cut him off. Because one of the things about taking out carriers is usually, yes, it's a waste of your time. However, if the carrier is dead, your puppies will then shoot at the remaining red ships. So if you help them focus down the carrier, you're more likely to get help with the other ships. Whereas if you go for the dangerous ships, then they'll probably be chasing after the carriers. So there we go, Jean Bart beaches. Torpedoes out from, I think, Takatrashi. They get the Satsuma. That's nice. Now we're actually going to turn our guns on the Yoshino, since a broadside Yoshino is a much better target than bow-on battleships. You just have to get a good shot on it. Which is basically going for broadside. So there I was checking to see what the angle of the torpedoes would be, because I want the torpedoes to, all the torpedoes to hit. Probably only get these torpedoes to hit. And does Jean Bart outrun those torpedoes? There's the Amagi. So by getting here close to the Amagi, that means that the Amagi is looking at me and not the Jean Bart. And we are keeping them alive. We want to keep them alive despite them being so good. Because oh, never mind. One ship died. He died. We wanted to keep them alive because as long as they were alive, then we would get the teleport spawns. But now there's no teleport spawns. So we will just skip to the end screen because there's no teleport spawns and we've done everything. And so when someone dies near at the end and you have everything's dead, like the teleport spawns gives you something to do, but when they're dead, there's nothing to do. So we'll just skip to the end. And we're near at the end. We're just circling around at the end because we'd have nothing, and then we go to the victory screen. Yeah, Raptor rescue in the end when there's no enemy ships. Anyway, so this is a 5-star. We didn't do much to contribute, but it is a 5-star. I say we didn't do much. I think we did more than that. So As you see, you have carrier Tatsu and Haoto. Haoto? Haoto? Yeah, so it's Haoto and Tatsu, and so each carrier is worth a star. And then you have the saving every single support ship, destroying 3 ships in 1 minute, usually done first, and outrunning to the exit so someone else got us. So 1 million credits, 180k damage, 5 kills. We are second on the team because the Jean Bart was in position. They were in good position, unlike us. So we are going to compliment them because they did well. They made me want to play my Borgol. So as you see, our main battery did 124k. Our secondary battery only did 31k. Despite us speccing so far into the secondary, the difference is just, like, you can see what the ship is. It's a main gun ship, not a secondary ship. And then we received 65k, but tanked a whole 1 million potential. And mostly fires was our damage. And then credits, 1 million. We were using blue boosters, so we got just under 1 million profit, which is why, like, I haven't found a good tier 9 that I like other than Agir that makes a lot of credits, as much as Prince Eugen and Mines were making before. I mean, Schroeder and what's the Italian? Michelangelo. Schroeder and Michelangelo do really good for credits because they're both good secondary tier 9 cruisers. And they do better than Agir, but Agir is, as I said, a main gun rather than secondary. So we might just go back and say, let's go back to this, and so. And with that, if you have any questions, any comments, go ahead, feel free to put that down. Otherwise, click that subscribe button if you want notifications when videos come up, or click that like button if you like this video, dislike if you don't like this video. That said, I hope to see you next week when it looks like we will be showcasing British destroyers. Have a good one.